Don't forget my lunch before you leave, Darren called from the couch. Maya froze with one hand on the apartment door and the other gripping her work bag so hard the strap cut into her palm. Her train left in 12 minutes. Her blouse was still damp from washing dishes. The kids' permission slips were in her coat pocket. The rent reminder sat unopened on the counter. Darren didn't look up from his phone. Maya, he said louder, like she worked for him. The chicken needs to be heated separate. You know I hate when it gets soggy. She turned slowly. Darren, I'm already late. He finally glanced at her. Late to the job you care about more than this family. The words landed in front of their 7-year-old daughter, who stood by the table tying her shoes with her little face lowered. Maya looked at the breakfast plates, the laundry basket, the unpaid electric bill, and her husband sitting under a blanket at 10 in the morning. Then her phone buzzed. A message from the bank, payment declined. Maya swallowed, opened the fridge, packed his lunch anyway, and walked out before he could see her hands shaking. By the time she reached the station, the morning crowd had already swallowed the platform. Maya squeezed onto the train between a man with a briefcase and an older woman reading a worn paperback. Her body ached from 3 hours of sleep, but her mind kept counting numbers. Rent, groceries, school fees, Darren's phone bill, Darren's streaming subscriptions, Darren's business course he promised would change everything. He had been between jobs for almost 2 years. At first, Maya defended him. He's trying, she told her mother. He just needs time. But time had become another bill she couldn't afford. Her phone buzzed again. Darren, you forgot my blue hoodie in the dryer. Seriously. Maya stared at the message until the letters blurred. The older woman beside her lowered her book. Honey, she said quietly, that look on your face, I had it for 15 years. Maya gave a polite smile, the kind she used when customers yelled at her and managers handed her extra shifts. I'm fine, Maya said. The woman looked at Darren's message, still glowing on the screen. No, she replied. You're being trained to carry a grown man. Maya's breath caught. Before she could answer, the woman reached into her purse, pulled out a folded newspaper clipping, and said, Read this before you go home tonight. Maya looked down at the headline and saw Darren's name. Maya got off 2 stops later than usual because she couldn't make herself move. The newspaper clipping shook between her fingers as people pushed around her on the platform. The headline was short, almost plain. Under it was Darren's name. Not Darren from years ago, not some mistake. Darren Halbrook, 36, quoted saying he was temporarily restructuring and preparing a stronger relaunch. Maya read the date twice. 8 months ago. Her chest tightened as she remembered the business course, the expensive laptop, the ring light, the monthly charges he said were for building his next income stream. That night after work, she found him exactly where she had left him. On the couch, one socked foot on the coffee table, a plate balanced beside his knee. You're late, he said. Kids already asked for dinner. Maya placed the newspaper clipping on his lap. Darren's face changed before his mouth did. Where did you get this? On the train, Maya said. A woman gave it to me. He folded it fast, like hiding it could erase it. So now you're taking advice from strangers. I'm asking why your failed business was in the paper, and why I'm paying for courses for a relaunch you never told me had already collapsed. Darren stood, voice low. You don't understand business. I understand declined payments. He stepped closer. You think keeping this family together is just your paycheck? I stay home with the kids. Maya looked past him at the sink full of dishes, the school bags still unopened, their son asleep in his uniform on the rug. You don't stay home with them, she said. You stay home near them. His jaw tightened. Then Maya noticed his phone lighting up on the couch. A banking alert flashed across the screen before he snatched it away. The name on the notification was hers. At his mother's birthday dinner that Sunday, Darren told everyone Maya was starting to crack. Maya had barely sat down before he leaned back in his chair and said it with a tired little laugh, like he was the patient husband surviving her. His sister Claire glanced at Maya. Krakow. Darren reached for the rolls. She's been accusing me of things, bank stuff, business stuff. You know how she gets when work overwhelms her. Maya put her fork down. Across the table, Darren's mother sighed. Maya, sweetheart, a man needs support when he's rebuilding. Maya looked at Darren's plate, piled high while she had spent the afternoon ironing the kids' clothes, buying his mother's flowers, and checking the account balance 3 times in the grocery store parking lot. Rebuilding what? Maya asked. Darren's smile thinned. Don't do this here. No, she said, pulling the folded clipping from her purse. You brought it here. The table went quiet as she slid the article across the birthday table, right between the cake and the candles. Claire picked it up first. Her eyes moved quickly, then stopped. Darren, she said, you said that company was still active. It is, he snapped. This article is old. It's 8 months old, Maya said, and we've been paying monthly charges since then. Darren pushed back from the table. Maya opened her banking app and turned the screen toward his family. My paycheck goes in on Fridays. By Monday, automatic payments hit accounts I didn't set up, marketing software, coaching platforms, a storage unit, 2 credit cards. His father frowned. Credit cards. Darren laughed, but nobody joined him. Then Claire said, Wait, you told Mom those cards were for Maya's spending. Maya's stomach dropped. Darren's mother looked from Darren to Maya. He said she had shopping debt. Maya stood so quickly her chair scraped the floor. I buy groceries, she said. School shoes, medicine, train passes. I haven't bought myself a winter coat in 3 years. Darren pointed at her. See, this is what I mean, public drama. But his brother-in-law, silent until then, held up Darren's phone from the counter. Then why? He asked. Does your banking app show transfers from Maya's account? Darren lunged for it. Maya got the alert at 6:14 the next morning, while packing lunch boxes with one eye half open. Account access changed. She tapped the notification, and her banking app rejected her password. For a second, she just stared at the screen while toast burned in the kitchen. Then Darren walked in wearing the same sweatpants from dinner. Calm as if nothing had happened. You changed my login, Maya asked. Darren opened the fridge. I secured the family finances after your little performance. My paycheck is in that account. Our bills come from that account, he said. You're not thinking clearly. Maya's phone buzzed again. This time it was a text from the landlord. Rent still not received. Please call today. Maya turned the screen toward him. Where is the rent money? Darren shut the fridge too hard. Don't start. At work, Maya used her lunch break to visit the bank branch across from the station. Her uniform still smelled faintly of coffee from the morning rush, and her hands were cold when she slid her ID under the glass. The teller checked the account, frowned, then asked, Are you aware there's a secondary online profile attached? Maya leaned closer. Attached by who? The teller lowered her voice. It was authorized using your security answers. There are recurring transfers to a private business account under Darren Halbrook Consulting. Maya gripped the counter. Consulting. That was not a job. That was the name printed on the failed business course invoices. The teller printed the last 90 days of activity. Maya saw groceries, school payments, rent attempts, and then, every Friday night, transfers leaving minutes after her paycheck landed. When Maya stepped outside, Claire was waiting by the station entrance with a folder. I found something, Claire said. Darren asked me to co-sign a lease for a studio last year. He said it was for your business. My business. Claire opened the folder. Inside were copies of forms with Maya's name, typed beside a signature she had never written. Before Maya could speak, Darren's car pulled up to the curb. The window rolled down. Get in, he said. Now. Maya didn't get in. She stood on the curb with Claire's folder pressed against her ribs and said, No. Darren's face hardened behind the half-open window. You're making this worse. For who? Maya asked. Claire stepped beside her. Darren, I saw the lease forms. His eyes flicked to his sister, then back to Maya. You don't understand what you're looking at. Maya opened the folder and held up the first page. This says I signed for a studio rental. You were going to, Darren said quickly. We talked about it. No, Maya said. You talked, I worked, you spent. The train rumbled overhead, shaking the street sign above them. Darren got out of the car and reached for the folder, but Maya stepped back. Don't touch it, Claire said. That stopped him, not because Claire was stronger, but because people were watching now. A man near the station entrance slowed down. The bank security guard looked through the glass doors. Darren noticed all of it. So he changed his voice. Maya, he said softly, come on, we're married. We fix things privately. Maya looked at him and saw the pattern all at once. Private was where he took her money. Private was where he blamed her exhaustion. Private was where he trained her to apologize before asking questions. No, she said. We fix fraud with records. She walked back into the bank with Claire behind her. By the end of that afternoon, the full truth was laid out across a small office desk. Darren had created a secondary online banking profile using details only a spouse would know. He had redirected portions of Maya's paycheck into Darren Halbrook Consulting, then used those transfers to pay for the studio lease, online coaching programs, ads for a relaunch, and credit cards he had opened while telling his family Maya had shopping debt. The studio had never been for Maya. It was for the comeback he kept pretending was just one payment away. When Maya asked about the rent, the bank manager pointed to 3 transfers made the same week the landlord's payment failed. Each one had gone to Darren's private business account. Maya sat very still. Claire whispered, I'm sorry, I believed him. Maya didn't look away from the papers. So did I. That evening, Darren's family met at his mother's house again, but this time Maya didn't bring flowers, food, or apologies. She brought photocopies. Darren tried to interrupt before she reached the dining table. My wife is under stress, he announced. She's been twisting things. His father took the first stack of documents from Maya's hand and read in silence. Claire placed the lease beside it. His mother's mouth opened, then closed. Maya pointed to the signatures. That one is not mine. That account profile is not mine. Those transfers happened after my paycheck hit. And the rent didn't fail because I was irresponsible. It failed because Darren was draining the account. Darren slammed his hand on the table. I was trying to build something for us. Maya finally turned to him. You built it on my back and called it family. No one defended him. His mother began to cry quietly, not with dramatic sobs, but with one hand over her mouth as she reread the credit card statements. His father stood and said, Darren, you need to leave this house tonight. The aftermath moved fast because Maya stopped protecting him from it. She opened a new bank account in her name only and redirected her paycheck before the next deposit. The bank froze the disputed online profile and started a fraud investigation. The landlord agreed to a payment plan after seeing the bank documents. Maya reported the forged lease signature, and the studio owner terminated the contract when Darren couldn't prove authorization. Darren lost the studio first. Then he lost his mother's free storage space for his equipment. Then he lost the version of himself he had sold to everyone, the struggling visionary, the misunderstood husband, the father sacrificing at home. When his family learned, he had been home all day while Maya still paid for childcare help from a neighbor. Even Claire stopped answering his calls. At home, Maya changed the passwords, then the locks. Darren packed 2 duffel bags while the children sat in their room with Claire, watching cartoons too loudly. He paused by the doorway and said, You're really going to break up this family over money? Maya held the door open. No, she said. You already broke it. I'm just done paying for the damage. 3 months later, Maya took the same morning train, but she wasn't carrying Darren's lunch. Her rent was current. Her paycheck stayed where she put it. The kids' school forms were signed, their groceries were paid for, and the apartment was quieter without a grown man demanding care while calling it love. The older woman from the train was there again, reading by the window. Maya sat across from her and smiled. "I read the clipping," Maya said. The woman closed her book, and Maya looked down at her bare hands, no shaking this time. "And I finally stopped carrying him.